a good old fashioned drink, a good old fashioned drink. I need a shave. Um, yeah, it's. I just come on camera and I thought, do you know what? I could actually do with a shave. Welcome back to another stream. So in today's stream, I want to talk about. Um, I guess you could call it a little idea that I've had, and I've had this idea for a little while now, and something that I want to think a little bit more about, but something that I kind of want to experiment with. So you guys will all know that last week I did a gig in Driffield at the Book, and essentially the Book themselves, the pub, the Book, they booked me all night. So they booked me to do a clubland night, stroke a bounce night, stroke just DJ Ash Noble all night long night. So I went to the pub and I played on the decks from 9 p.m. until 2 a.m. So essentially 5 hours, and it was just me all night long, and it was really enjoyable. It was really good, and it got me thinking: what if I try to offer this out more? So obviously, I had a really good time at the Book, and I want to go back there at some point. I know the pub. I know they're keen to have me back at some point, but obviously, you can't just say, "Look, I'll go back next week." These sort of nights that that happen every so often. However, I would like to do this more, and go to like different pubs and go to different locations and different towns to offer out the same thing. So imagine a DJ Ash Noble all night long, and that's what it would be called. It would be called the DJ Ash Noble all night long tour, and it would just be exactly what happened at the Book. So essentially, I would advertise this out. The pub would book me, so depending on the pub, and obviously it would have to depend on the area. So I would keep the area sort of local to our area, so Driffield, Hull, Beverley, Bridlington, maybe that kind of thing. Obviously like travel dependent, as I don't obviously drive with equipment and stuff, but like Hull, I can jump in taxis. That's sort of no issue. But I'm kind of thinking of offering kind of this thing out where if you're kind of like a small pub, and you essentially wanted like a clubland night, and you wanted like a bounce night, and you wanted a night of dance anthems in your pub, then you could essentially book me and I would come and supply that kind of all night. So it would kind of like be, you kind of like almost like a typical wedding stroke birthday DJ sort of advertising, but it would be literally for playing like the clubland, the bounce, the dance music, and that is essentially what people would book me for, to play that kind of stuff. So you would get like you'd get the night of dance anthems, and you'd get me behind the decks all night. Whether it would be in a pub, it could be for a birthday, it could be for a wedding, and essentially if you wanted to rave that up, that's essentially what it would be, and it would be the DJ Ash Noble all night long. And sometimes I would have special guests with me. So, for example, we'd have some special guests, people that would make like sort of like one-off appearances, or maybe people that would appear at like every so many times I do this, and might be another DJ, might be somebody who will like just go and do a little bit of hyping up on the mic, but essentially it would be me all night long, for the local, sort of area. And we've got some oh, it won't let me view them for some reason. So whatever they're saying, I don't know why people have to say like stupid comments or comments that have rude things in them. Like, you know, I don't know if they're just trying to get a reaction, but for whatever reason, it won't let me view the message. So chat message yourself and review can be seen by you but hidden by the public. To view, you can hidden from public view. You can make them public or keep them hidden by select show or hide. But every time I click the view, there we go. Coming up now. Who are you talking to? I'm your who the okay, I don't even know who this guy is. Weirdo. Yeah, I don't think people realise that you can watch these back when they're not live anymore. Honestly, like, I've been doing this now for, I don't know how many years I've been coming live on YouTube, but you can watch the live streams back when they're no longer live anymore. But there we go, people don't always know, do they? So yeah, essentially, we would offer this out. So there's a little bit of thinking to be done, because obviously I don't drive. So, you know, you're the weirdo. Why are you doing this video? Because I want to, maybe. I mean, why else? Why else? And anyway, it's a live stream, isn't it? Not a video. Who are you trying to sell your services? Only one viewing. Yes, but people watch it after it's gone live. Duh. Once it's gone live, the video stays on my channel. So someone might watch it in 2 weeks' time, and someone might then decide, you know what? So you never know. And I've been coming live like this for nearly 2 years. And yes, I don't hit thousands upon thousands of views. Am I asked? No, I don't. I don't do this as I want to get loads of viewers, I want to earn from YouTube. I do this because it's just a bit of a hobby, it's a bit of a fun. I come live and I update where I'm gigging next and what I'm doing on my musical journey. And if people choose to watch it, they choose to watch it. If they don't, then they don't. You know, it doesn't make me lose sleep at night. I'll still wake up the next day and do another live stream the next day if I want to. Bet you voted for Labour. Your dole money increase. Actually, I didn't vote at all because I don't believe in voting, and I wasn't registered to vote because I've recently moved address. So, yeah, and even if I was registered to vote, I wouldn't vote, and I don't get dole money. So, this is fun. This is fun. You know what? I actually don't mind drinking gravy, so big shout to Isabella. Check out this other person. His biggest offence is calling me gravy drinking. I mean, for starters, it's clearly a bottle of Pepsi. And like I say, I don't actually mind drinking gravy. So there we go. But everything this guy has said, apparently I vote Labour to increase my dole money when I'm not even on the dole. I'm a gravy drinker. Yes, I am. You like Pepsi? I prefer Coca-Cola. But I had a friend over for tea, and he bought this big bottle of Pepsi for us, like, to share. There was about 3 of us, and we all grabbed food at my place, and he left the bottle. So I just thought I might as well drink it before it goes flat. So what you have KFC. No, if he came round to my house, we didn't have KFC. Like, he came to my house to have food. Like, he came to my house and had food. We didn't go to KFC. I know you can order them on like Deliveroo and Just Eat, but we cooked at home. I've reported you for advertising. Well, good for you. What's that gonna do? What's that poster behind? That poster is so I went to a car boot sale years ago. Someone was selling the poster. It's Example, DJ Example, when he well, he's not DJ, is he? He does like vocals and stuff. But yeah, he was doing a tour in Ibiza, and 2013 or something. And someone was selling the flyer in a photo frame. So yeah, I bought it, and then when I moved out of my grandparents' house and moved into my mum's, stayed at my grandparents' for years because I just never really knew what to do with it. Now I've moved into my own place. I claimed it back to put it on the wall because why not? Nice glasses. They're all right. I paid I paid and got them dirt cheap because why not? Am I a bin man? I am far from a bin man. But if that helps you sleep at night thinking I'm a bin man, you know. Anyway, Mr. Voting Labour and Tesco's and all the rest of it, I thought you was Australia. So, I'm just, do you know what? I'm just letting him. I am just letting him because, the type of comments he's putting, I mean, he hasn't, I mean, he put some further up. You won't see them because it actually blocks them. But he put some like rude language, and he'll actually get banned on YouTube for doing that. So I'm just letting him type away because it's just hysterical. It's just funny, and whatever point he's trying to prove, like he's just not proving it. So. Leave him to it. Leave him to it is what I say. The thing about it is I've been doing this music for 9 years. Like I've been MCing. I've been MCing for 9 years. I've been DJing about 4 years. I've had for a good 9, nearly 10 years. I've had a online sort of I've been pushing my music online. So for a good 9 years, I've dealt with people leaving negative comments. So I'm not being funny. In my early days, I got some stick, and obviously, in the earlier days, I was, like even I could go back now and listen to some of them like really old raps, and even I will agree that they're absolutely shocking. But at the time, I received some pretty nasty comments. So someone telling me that I'm a gravy drinking, whatever it was, and telling me I claimed dole money when I haven't claimed dole money for nearly 2 years now. After 9 years, it doesn't really come across offensive anymore. So, I just say carry on. That's what I say. Carry on regardless. Yeah, I'm just streaming on my phone. When I go live on the DJ decks, I have a wire here, and that goes straight into my production computer, and that gives like direct sound from the decks to when I'm obviously streaming, um, that kind of thing, and then obviously I talk into a microphone, but when I just do stuff off my phone, I just come live and prop the phone up, and just talk to the phone for the camera, because in all honesty, I think a lot of it, like, it is out of laziness. Like, if I wanted to like do this stream and then set up the webcam and you know set up everything else, it would have taken it just not necessarily a long time, but long enough when you just want to come live, and you know what I mean. Can you move it for a second? What do you want me to move? Nice setup, bro. Thank you. The vinyl's going. Unfortunately, I'm selling up a lot of the vinyl. Not well, yeah, by choice, but not. It's hard to explain. Like, I want to do it, but I kind of don't want to do it. But there's a whole like story and reasoning behind it. The camera. Yeah, I can move the camera. See, we're moving. There's the setup. There's another picture there as well. I can also I normally put the camera here at night. Then that little light doesn't get in the way. Because I've got like there was a light that's behind me, and when I moved in, there was some bulbs that didn't work, so I got new bulbs, but decided to change everything to LED, and now it's like super bright on the camera. But yeah, the setup didn't come just like that. The setup took a lot of, building up to get that set up, and even that setup now is by far not the newest and the most expensive setup, but it does me for the moment. It's a lot better than what I used to have. So I'm like really really super happy with it. And the most expensive part of it, I actually, believe it or not, I actually got it bought for me, and I still can't believe I got it bought for me, and who bought it for me. That was probably the most sort of like the most shocking part of it. Just the fact that like I managed to get somebody who like I wouldn't really class them as like a close friend to literally buy that setup for me. A friend of my mum's was a wagon driver, and he used to come up and visit us, and he used to bring, he used to deliver like fresh meat and stuff. So he'd always have like butcher's meat and stuff, and like butcher's sausages and stuff in his lorries, and he'd bring stuff up. He used to come up and visit sometimes on a weekend and stay over. And then his lorry company, they went out of business, and he got like a big payout from it. And at the time, the equipment I was using had broke. It was starting to break, and I couldn't like take it to gigs in the condition it was in. So he actually bought me this setup, and like he was more just a friend of my mum's. And I didn't really know him all too well, but he bought it. He paid a good amount of money for it for me. So I'm forever grateful, even though I don't see the person really anymore. I'm still grateful that he got them. So you're not selling it. So he should. So but it's all good. I just came and told my mum one day. I said, look, the equipment's broke. I've got a gig that's coming up. I really, really don't know what to do. I've got a friend who's selling an RX, but he's selling it cheap to really what they go for, but it's still out of my price range, and yeah, the rest is history. To be fair, it does sound a little bit dodgy, but at the end of the day, I got an RX out of it. you know, and I didn't even really have to do anything. Like he offered to buy it, we picked it up the following Monday, and you know, like I say, the rest is history, and you know, I've had so much improvement just from just from using it. You know, the improvement has improved massively. So I'll report this fella. No, he didn't groom me. He didn't groom me. He did not groom me in the slightest. He just offered to pay for it because he had the money for it. I even offered to pay him back. That's how like grateful I was. But he said like no, you know, call it a present to help you. You know, the next step of your music journey, and that was literally it. That you know that's the rest. You know, the rest is history. Um, but there we go. But no, I love the RX. It's an absolute beast. So it's an absolute beast of a controller, and it does everything that I need it to do. And it was like, you know, what I had before was very basic, like it had no effects and things on it. And you know, when I got the decks I had before the RX, like when I first got them, I was very new to DJing. Like I'd attempted it like 10 years ago, and my dad got me a controller for Christmas and gave it up the following year because you know, I was getting bullied. But you know, that's all like a past story. But when I first got the new Marks, which is what I had before the RX, I was like very new to it, and I wanted to tackle DJing properly this time, and I did. I learned to beat match through the lockdown on digital and vinyl, and then I just felt like I quickly outgrew the equipment that I had. I felt like I just learned to beat match very quickly, and then I just kept getting better and better to the point where I thought, you know, I can do more in my mixes now. I can start adding effects in because I know I'm confident with like the actual basic beat matching. So it kind of like, you know, got to the point where I thought I need to upgrade, and then my equipment kind of just, you know, on its way out, just kind of like pushed me to have a more of a reason to upgrade rather than just because you want a new controller doesn't mean you can get one. Whereas when my other equipment broke and it was like, well, I can't do gigs with these ones that are dodgy, and you know, it gave me more of a reason to upgrade. So, why are you not DJing on a Friday night? Because I don't DJ every weekend. I DJ as and when I get booked. Last weekend, I was booked on the Friday. I was booked on the Saturday. My next gig is in about 2 weeks, so it just varies. Sometimes I go through periods where I'm DJing every single weekend, and you know, for a good 3 or 4 weeks in a row. And then sometimes there'll be like 1 month where I might have a gig at like the beginning of the month, and then the next gig might not actually be until the end of the month, or I might only have the one gig that month. It just depends. The gigs vary, so you know, I get booked to DJ, um, I get booked to MC. Although I am taking a step back from that to try and focus a little bit more on the DJing. I also get booked to like perform and do. So like I've got an alter ego where I do like a duo with my friend called the Layman, and he has an alias called the Jiggerman, and we write positive reggae tracks, and we perform these positive reggae tracks. So we've gone to like small festivals, we've gone to small like youth events, and we perform these like happy, positive reggae tracks, and you know, we wrote one called "The Good Life," and that kind of um, was just to show people that you can live the good life. And the track's about a guy who just doesn't. Essentially, the track's about a guy who just doesn't give a shit anymore. You know, and he just lives the good life, and nothing brings him down, and nothing gets to him. And it was just a positive reggae track that we wrote in lockdown, which kind of like spiraled and like set the whole thing off. And then we followed it up and we did some we did some other tracks. We did one called Tunnel, which was to show people like whatever you're going through that there is light at the end of the tunnel. We did one called Feeling So Good. So Good Life was about this guy who was living the good life, and then Feeling So Good is like saying you're living the good life. And then we've done one called Loving You, which was about like just when you love somebody in every way. And then we did one called True, which is about like true friendship. And we've just started writing another one, which is about living the dream. So it's about living a life that you never expected you would be living. So like when living the life you always dreamed of, but you never expected that your dream had actually come true. So we've only just started writing that one the other day, so it's still what I'd say it's still very rocky. Like we've essentially wrote like a chorus, and then I've wrote like the first verse, and then I've wrote like a little bit of a second verse that I'm not too happy on at the moment. So we're gonna keep working on that a little bit more. But it's gonna be a good track. And then we also do like normal like hip hop tracks as well. So we did one about knife crime, preventing knife crime. We filmed a music video for that. You can go on to Layman Productions and watch that. And that has been picked up by knife campaigns, and it's been taken into like schools, and it's been shown to people to try and help prevent knife crime. And we've just recently done another one called The Reason Why, and that is about bullying. And it's a story about basically, well, it's about me. And so I've been bullied most of my life. So I've wrote this track called The Reason Why, and it's basically like me asking my bullies all these years later the reason why they was a bully, the reason why they bullied me. And then my friend the layman jumps on and does a verse as the bully, and he kind of like portrays this part of like, so he's a bully, he's just watched this, he's just listened to this track, and then he's kind of like giving his reason why he bullied, and that he didn't realise the effects it's had. So we've just released that track. We made like a lyric video for it, and we're going to be in the process of recording a music video for it. So we've got the ideas for it. We just need to sort of like start recording it, and then we're going to put the music video out there. And this has also been picked up to go around some schools as well, and they're going to be used to show people that obviously bullying is not okay, and it's not. I've received it for a lot of years, and I think 2010, I think early 2010 was probably like one of the worst years of my whole entire life for bullying. I went into a really, really bad sort of mental health state. The only time I've ever really been like properly, really affected by any form of mental health, but I wasn't eating. I was locking myself away in my room. I went anorexic because I was starving myself. I just couldn't bring myself to eat anything. I'd have a little bit of tea on a night, and that'd be it. Like I'd been missing like school dinners and stuff. So the song itself really kind of speaks from sort of like experience of how these bullies made me feel. So it's a track with a really strong message, and we've got to prevent bullying because it happens all the time. There's loads of people that get bullied every day, every week, and some people unfortunately, they end their life, so or bad things happen, and we need to be aware, that it's not okay, and sometimes not in any way, shape, or form that I agree with any bullying, because I don't. But a lot of bullies sometimes, when they are actually bullying, they don't think they're bullying, and they just think they're having a little bit of banter and they're having a bit of a laugh, or they're trying to fit in with the lads. but they don't really necessarily always know what they're doing to that person. To them it's a bit of a laugh, it's a little bit of banter, but how that kid's actually feeling, and the kid probably, because at the time he's just going along with it, or he's scared for whatever reason. And, he isn't going to tell you at the time how you're making him feel. And then when he goes and sits alone in his bedroom, that's obviously when he's suffering and when he doesn't feel like he can tell anybody. So, from a bully's perspective, sometimes they just think they're having a little bit of a laugh and they're having a bit of a joke and it's a bit of banter. When in hindsight, it's a lot worse than that. And sometimes we've just got to make people aware that it's not okay, and people that want to make people's lives hell. It's obviously not okay. But we do a lot of different things. I mean, I produce electronic dance music. That's like a big thing that I do. So I do I do remixes and bootlegs of dance tracks and commercial tracks, and I've had releases on some record labels, mainly just not ones where you can go on Spotify and they'll be on Spotify. Although our Positive Good Life reggae track is on Spotify, but no, they go on sort of like digital download websites. So I'm signed to a label called Excite, and I've currently got 4 tracks on there. One is a collaboration track. But I've done a remix of Panic at the Disco, High Hopes. I've done a remix of Cafe Del Mar, Energy 52, and that features vocals from 9 Years, and I think it's called Take Me Higher. And then I've done a remix of the Safri Duo, Played Alive, with the bongo song. That was a massive sort of dance stroke trance hit, sort of in the noughties. And then myself and a friend of mine called Joe Dunn, we did a remix of an old bassline track called It Could Just Be the Bassline. That also has been featured on their site as well. And I've also done a remix of is it Tire Cruz? I think that's how you pronounce them, and they did a track called Hangover, and I did a remix of that essentially, and that went on to the record label as well. And then I'm also signed. Well, I own the label Grooving Sounds, but I've got some records signed on there. I've done a remix of the Neo, Let Me Love You. So that is released on there. I've done a remix of Leo and Bushwacker's Love Story, featuring the vocals from Julie McKnight, Finally. You can find that on there. Myself and DJ Lashes teamed up to do a remix of the Keza. Is it Keza or Keza? Hideaway. I can't remember how you pronounce the artist, so you'll have to bear with me on that one. And I've also done like a Clubland sort of Scouse remix of the Soulja Boy, Kiss Me Through the Phone. You can find that on there as well. And yeah, I've just done a few little bits. I'm also signed to another label called Bounce Core Records, and there's about 3 tracks on there. So there's one of Owl City, Good Time. I've done a remix of that. There's also a remix of Pitbull, Rain Over Me, and there's also a remix of Olive, You're Not Alone, the classic Olive, You're Not Alone. And that is also on there as well. And I'm trying to think if there was something else that got released on there, but I can't fully remember. So I've done a few bits and bobs. I'm working on some original stuff as well, but as I've been learning to produce, like sometimes when you're learning to produce, like to do bootlegs and remixes is like a really good way of learning, because with like bootlegs and remixes, you're using sort of like already sung vocals, so you can find out what key they're in. You can drag midis in, so you can find out like what key the bass of a track is in and stuff like that, like just from using the midis and stuff like that. And when you're just trying to learn, and when you're trying to work on stuff, and when there's already like a good solid melody already wrote there, and you just, and you can just play around with getting the right sounds and stuff for it. It's a really good learning curve. And I like doing little bootlegs to play in like my DJ sets as well, and stuff like that. So I think my sort of aim with that is like I would like to get some releases on Bounce Heaven. I think that's kind of like where I want to go with it. And then like kind of once I've done that, and I know that I'm at that level where kind of like Bounce Heaven are like, yeah, we'll take this track on board. Then I know that I've kind of leveled up, if that makes sense, to where I'm going to start doing a lot more original stuff, and trying to learn some more different stuff. But for now, I'm just kind of having fun, and I'm still learning. And I'm working on a few little original bits, but I'm just not fully confident kind of doing that at the moment, which is why I'm still doing sort of like the bootlegs and stuff. But I enjoy them. Like, I don't think I'll ever stop doing the bootlegs, just because I think you can play them in your sets and stuff, and they're always fun to do a little cheeky remix now and again. So we'll just kind of see sort of where it goes. But as you can obviously tell, I mean, if you don't follow the channel, I just love music all round. So that in itself is just something that is just amazing. And I do so many different things, from producing to DJing to rapping to songwriting. So it's a shed load of fun. But anyway, the whole topic, the whole sort of reasoning, the whole idea behind this stream was obviously, do we take the DJ Ash Noble all night long on tour? So essentially, we would go around to, we would advertise, and then like small sort of like pubs in the area would kind of be like, well, do you know what? Like, we're gonna have a bit of live music tonight. We're gonna book a DJ. We'll put like a little, I don't know, like a little Clubland night on, which is like what the book did last weekend when I played there. And then they'd book me from say like 9 p.m. until 2 a.m. or something like that. And we'd offer it out, and we'd just kind of see what the situation is, kind of thing. So a little bit of thinking to do, but definitely something like I definitely want to do it. Like I say, we've just got to kind of see if it's something that that we actually can do. Is it actually feasible to do it, kind of thing. And then obviously, if it is, then let's do it. Let's offer it out. Let's do it, and let's see what happens, and let's take it from there and stuff like that. So I think that's going to do it for this stream. Make sure to like, comment, share, all of that good stuff. I think I'm going to just outside of Doncaster tomorrow. So my friend the layman, if you don't know, he basically does photography at events, and he's been to some of the biggest events in the UK, and he's become quite well known in the music scene. And he is definitely, by far, he is the life and soul of an event and a party. And it's even got to the point where, like, if an event actually books the layman to go to their event, it like the event just increases with popularity. More people actually go to the event just knowing that he's going to be there, because he just kind of brings this like really good vibe. And if events like don't book him, then they actually lose out. Like, they lose out on exposure. They get exposure from him being at the event, because he broadcasts on like live FM radio. So he advertises to thousands of people that listen to FM radio that he's at this event, or this event is coming up. And then he's got quite a good reach online with like social media, so he'll advertise on there, and that already like boosts the event massively. So he's photographing an event tomorrow just outside of Doncaster. The Legend Ultra Beat is headlining alongside Hannah Taylor and Kevin and Perry. So the Kevin and Perry tribute are coming live to do their thing as well. And it's a family rave, and it's absolutely belting. So it's going to be really good. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So I'm going to go along with him and attend the event as I've got no gigs this weekend. And then I believe it goes into the Doncaster warehouse after for Back to Bounce, and I think David Rust is headlining. I'm not certain whether we're going thereafter. Like, I think, there's a possibility that they might want him to go back there, and there's a possibility we might end up going back there, like, even if it's not for long. Even though I did speak to Lehman, and he said that we probably won't be. It's just, I know, like, once you get into that atmosphere of where you're out somewhere and you're talking to people, you're having a good time, and then people are like, "Oh, you're coming back here, you're coming back here," or you're coming, will you do some photos here, kind of thing. It's more like, "Oh no, all right, go on then," we're going past it on our way home, aren't we? So we'll see what happens, but I think it'll be set to be a good day, stroke a good night. So I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, I believe it starts at 3 in the afternoon and it goes into the evening, and then it goes over to the warehouse like later on, probably around sort of like 8 o'clock or something like that. 8, 9 o'clock, and then that goes on into the early hours. So it's it's a big day tomorrow, but looking forward to it nevertheless. So that's going to do it for this one. Make sure to like, make sure to comment, share, and we'll see you soon.